What's on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quarter, and we've got another nurse, another woke nurse, who just accidentally found out, thinking that, hey, I can just post crazy, unhinged things, making my patients feel uncomfortable, making anybody who goes to this hospital worry about whether or not they're going to get a high quality of service, high quality of care. Well, I hope the virtue signaling was worth it, because this story is absolutely hilarious, as the Attorney General is already involved. The Attorney General gets involved within a day. The time for these idiots to get their social media clout is over, and the reckoning has begun. And I'm absolutely here for it. Let's get into this story. By the way, huge shout out to Coffee Brand Coffee, my coffee company. We roast our own stuff. It's not available anywhere else. You can get it all on Amazon. We have butterscotch toffee, blueberry cobbler, strawberries and cream. These are our top sellers. We have our sugar cookie, hot butter rum, gingerbread, all available in K-Cup, whole bean, and ground, and 5-pound bags for people that want value. Tiger's blood, our spiked jack-o'-lantern. So many delicious flavors. Free overnight shipping. Give it a try. It supports the channel directly. We make about $1 a bag, but we're growing on Amazon, and I would absolutely love for you to pick some up today. Breaking: the nurse who threatened to harm patients while they were under anesthesia for being conservative has been identified as traveling OR nurse Stephanie Kruger, who works for the Central Florida-based healthcare staffing agency Cross Country Healthcare. Well, here's her TikTok. Can someone explain to me why a patient would want to voice their strong political and social views right before going under anesthesia? Like, you're about to be paralyzed, sir. Well, obviously the implication is, first of all, we know that this isn't a conservative nurse worried about far left liberals. They just don't exist. Or they're not stupid enough to upload these incriminating videos to the internet. But the backlash has been very quick. They don't value their lives. They work so hard to get for that career and are so mentally deranged that they'll throw it all away. Voting and opinions used to be sacred, and we used to be able to talk about things now that are just now they're just literally lunatics. I mean, remember there was a famous Dave Chappelle show where he's like, "Hey, come on, man! I'm trying to tell you about what I did with my wife in bed last night. You want to talk about politics? I don't want to talk about politics." Like, that was one of the most poignant Chappelle jokes ever. Well, this story has taken some twists and turns. We'll send you packing. Florida Attorney General takes aim at yet another nurse after controversial video. 2 other nurses are no longer registered in the state. 2 nurses have been fired, the Attorney General said. For the 3rd time in recent weeks, Florida Attorney General James Uthmeier is putting a nurse in his crosshairs over a controversial video was posted online. On Wednesday evening, Uthmeier shared another post to X that discusses the video in which the nurse identified as Stephanie Kruger apparently uploaded an ominous video on TikTok. Here we go again, Uthmeier wrote. If you're a medical professional and you threaten the health and safety of others based on their political views, we'll send you packing here in Florida. Regardless, Cross Country Healthcare also issued a notice on Wednesday, which we're going to take a look at, stating that the company is aware of a concerning post circulating from the individual who has now been fired. We are aware of a concerning post circulating from the individual who no longer works for Cross Country. We do not condone this behavior, and these views do not represent our core values. Let me be clear why they're so scared. Hospitals require massively expensive insurance to operate. They have, malpractice suits they have to worry about. In fact, some doctors and nurses have to carry their own personal malpractice insurance. I believe surgeons for sure. I don't know about anesthesiologists. I would be willing to bet they do also. And what happens is when you put these videos out, you become uninsurable. And as an individual, being uninsurable is obviously bad enough. But when you are a hospital, that means you have to close the entire hospital down. This isn't the first time Uthmeier targeted nurses for their social media posts. Alexis Lawler was reportedly also fired after blowback cropped up against her video, and Uthmeier called for her to lose her license which was later suspended by the Florida Surgeon General. Man, I want to live in Florida. Being fired isn't good enough. Any healthcare worker who fails to uphold his or her obligation to provide adequate, safe healthcare should no longer be licensed in Florida. This is another 8647 nurse that got fired. Around the same time, Uthmeier also went after nurse Eric Martindale, who supposedly said that he would not give anesthesia to Trump voters. Similarly to Lawler, Uthmeier ultimately announced that Martindale was no longer a registered nurse in Florida, following backlash from the former nurse's post. Now, I get there's one aspect of this that's a little chilling. That is, of course, well, somehow it's a little bit better when they come right out and say it, because when they don't come right out and say it, it's more concerning, right? It's like, oh, well, are they still secretly feeling this way? Yeah, some percentage of them are going to still feel this way. But the reality is, at least we get the Looney Tunes that are so deranged that they're willing to say it out loud. At least we get them out of the business. At least we get them out of there. Similarly, effective today, Eric Martindale is no longer a registered nurse in Florida. Healthcare is not contingent on political beliefs, and we have zero tolerance for partisans who put politics above their ethical duty to treat patients with the respect and dignity they deserve. Again, I told this story before, and it's actually scary. My wife had to have surgery back in January or December. And right when she was about to go under, her anesthesiologist, or one of the nurses in the room, said, "I recognize your husband." Now, I'm assuming saying that wasn't meant to threaten her. I'm giving this guy the benefit of the doubt because I live in Wisconsin and we don't have as many like far left lunatics here. But she was terrified. It was the first thing she told me when she kind of like got out of anesthesia and stuff. Like, this guy said this to me and I was like, oh my God. And I was like, man, I didn't even think about that. You don't even think about it. You're like, oh, I'm going to the hospital. I have surgery. I never even would have thought that some lunatic working there would like give me suboptimal care because they didn't like my husband's political views or my political views. We go to this, let's go to the Attorney General's tweet about this individual. First and foremost, this is an hour ago, 15 hours ago. Here we go again. If you're a medical professional and you threaten the health and safety, what do you say, Stephanie? Easy way or the hard way? Attorney General Uthmeier, do you have an opinion on her alleged ex-employer, Cross Country Healthcare, located here in Florida, blatantly and willfully violating Governor DeSantis and President Trump's executive order banning DEI? So now it's spiraling out of control. Now the hospital that hired her just got outed. You see this? Cross Country Healthcare is DEI on steroids. They're violating all the executive orders issued by President Trump, and their funding should be axed. Here you go, Cross Country from February 1st, 2026. Black History Month, we honor Black leaders, thinkers, creators. Oh, Black History Month, maybe that's probably okay. Here we have, We Are Connected, John A. Martins. We are proud of Cross Country Healthcare's nearly 35-year commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Well, that is in violation of federal law. Embracing diversity and inclusion in healthcare staffing, building a stronger foundation for patient care. Well, I can tell you this, after numerous, lunatics revealed in the healthcare industry and numerous healthcare companies being outed as embracing DEI, it seems like DEI has a direct line, at least in my opinion, a direct line to unhinged woke lunatics. It seems like any hospital or healthcare industry that engages in DEI is only increasing the risk of their potential patients, the people that pay for everything. Here's Cross Country statement, which they had to lock down immediately. We're aware of concerning posts. We do not condone it. So will you be reviewing any and all interactions with patients by this nurse? If not, it looks like you'll be on the hook for future claims by anyone who doesn't agree with her politics. This is how it spins out of control. This is why these people are getting fired. Way too many when will retaining / debrainwashing on do not harm start. Without any delay, you must fire her, make a statement of doing so. Major FAFO. Oh my God, get out of Florida. Why are so many in the healthcare professionals behaving so unprofessionally? I used to admire healthcare workers, but this is starting to concern me. Well, yeah, you're required to report her to the Board of Nursing. Will action be taken? She's fired already. That's the third in 3 weeks. If we look at some of the quotes, just went to the X account, they left this pinned on the top page. I mean, this is what finding out is about. This is when you go in for medical care, you are at your most vulnerable, right? What if you're having like emergency surgery? My wife had major internal surgery. She was in surgery for like 3 or 4 hours. You are completely, your life is in the hands of the people that are performing these procedures on you. I never used to think, oh boy, I better make sure that none of my nurses, like now, like I'm going to look up any of my doctors or nurses and see if they're on social media and see if they're on TikTok. When I go to, my wife would have went into surgery, I would have been looking up everybody. And I would have said, I need your social media and stuff before I agree to do the surgery here, because it was something we had time. Now, if you're an emergency type scenario, you don't have time. That's why these hospitals have to absolutely positively flush each and every one of these turds, because it's not safe, it's not legal, and it's not supposed to be how our healthcare works. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, subscribe or follow down below. Don't forget to check out Coffee Brand Coffee over on Amazon. You can use the link in the description down below to shop and get free overnight shipping, or you can go to coffeebrandcoffee.com too. We'll talk to you again real soon.